Hey guys, it is Jimmy with Swiss Realty here, and in today's video, we are going to go over a common question I get from a lot of out-of-state investors. So, as you guys may know, I work with a lot of out-of-state investors, a lot of investors from these more expensive cities like the Oregons, Washingtons, Californias, and the New Yorks. Expensive cities, a lot more expensive than Columbus, Ohio. And the reason why they invest in Columbus, Ohio, is because they're essentially, a lot of these out-of-state investors are priced out of their own markets. And because of that, they're looking for other real estate markets where they can hit the 1% rule, where they can get great appreciation. And it's not in their local markets, obviously. So in today's video, we're going to go over, again, a question I get very often, and it's why invest in Columbus, Ohio. So I wanted to kind of give you guys my breakdown. Again, I'm a local real estate agent here in Columbus, Ohio. I work with investors on helping them buy their next buy and hold, BRRRR, flip, or short-term, mid-term rental here in Columbus, Ohio. I've done over $20 million in terms of real estate sales in the last 2 years. A lot of those are pretty much investment deals. That's what I do all day, every day. So let's dive into this question and kind of go over, each of these things for why you should invest in Columbus, Ohio. So number one is definitely the macroeconomics here. Here in Columbus, Ohio, the population is growing like crazy. Look up any list that talks about fastest growing cities in the US. You'll see that Columbus, Ohio is top 10 pretty much every time. On top of that as well too, Columbus, Ohio is the fastest city in fastest growing city in Ohio. And on top of that, it's the capital of Ohio, so that's where it gets that's because of that, it gets a lot of its funding and development, again, being the capital of the state, obviously. And on top of that too, you have tons of job growth happening here. There's so many diverse job sectors here. You have education, healthcare, tech, finance, manufacturing. So many things are happening here, so it's not just reliant on one sector alone. And on top of that as well too, there are so many companies moving and developing here in Columbus, Ohio. Again, just to name off a few, I'm sure you guys have already heard about this, but again, Intel headquarters being built here. It's a $26 billion project, one of the nation's biggest projects. And on top of that, Intel is also bringing a few hundred smaller companies to come support its operation as well too. So when it comes to Intel's headquarters being built here, you have to remember it's not just Intel. They're bringing so many other smaller companies with them to help them support their operations as well too. And aside from that, you have Ohio State University. It's one of the nation's biggest universities right now. It has over 68,000 students enrolled. And on top of that, it's only going to get bigger from here on out. And companies are developing here because, again, when you have one of the world's best universities here and biggest universities here, you have a huge talent pool. So again, it's a perfect breeding ground for a lot of companies here. And on top of that, you have Nationwide Children's Hospital, you have Amazon, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, LG, Honda, recently Anduril. So many things are happening here. And that's why I would say a lot of people are calling Columbus, Ohio, the Silicon Valley of the Midwest. Because again, a lot of people see Columbus, Ohio as Austin, Texas before it completely blew up. And we are pretty much seeing a lot of the same factors and same signs before Austin blew up. And that's, again, why a lot of my out-of-state investors, they see Columbus, Ohio, and they're like, hey, I want to get in on that growth and what's happening in Columbus, Ohio before it completely blows up. So next part of it is the appreciation. So appreciation of Columbus, Ohio. So this is what I tell a lot of my out-of-state investors is that I'm going to be honest with you, any real estate that you buy in Columbus, Ohio, you want to hold forever and for the rest of your life. The reason why is because with the amount of job growth and population growth and, companies moving and developing here, there is so much growth to be projected here. And because of that, your real estate, it's going to 2x, it's going to 3x faster than you'll know. And there's so much growth here, and there's so many reports. Again, look it up on Google. But essentially, if you look at Franklin County properties appreciation, you will see that appreciation typically is 7 to 12% year to year for Franklin County properties. That's way more than the nationwide average. And on top of that, too, in appreciation alone, you're pretty much at or beating SP 500 returns in appreciation alone. That doesn't account for cash flow. It doesn't account for principal pay down. Doesn't account for the depreciation you'll be able to get. Just from appreciation alone, you're pretty much getting what you would get from the SP 500. That's how much Columbus, Ohio is growing, and you as an investor, you 100%, should understand that Columbus, Ohio, it's not just a cash flow or appreciation market. Here, there is amazing appreciation potential. And if I'm going to be real with you guys, that's the real reason why I would say a lot of investors like Columbus, Ohio. It's for the incredible appreciation. That's how much, growth is happening here in Columbus, Ohio. The next part we're going to hit on is the cash flow. So with Columbus, Ohio, just being completely frank with you guys here, you can still hit the 1% rule. You can still find positive cash flow here. And here, it is still very affordable in the sense that you can find single family houses. And again, when I say single family houses, I'm going to obviously focus on cash flowing properties because again, it does sound when it comes to working with investors, most of you guys are looking for positive cash flow at the end of the day. And those deals that are hitting the 1% rule that are positive cash flowing, they're typically here in Columbus, Ohio, still anywhere from 120 to 180K. So again, very affordable. And I typically tell my clients just to be at 200K and below, just to be a little safe. And then duplexes and multifamily. Duplexes and multifamily typically start around 200 to 250K. That's kind of, the price point. But again, it's still very, very affordable compared to other real estate markets. And again, you can still find the 1% rule here. You can still find positive cash flow. Just this past week, I just closed on a deal. It was my client who bought a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, single-family house for 120K. And they're currently renting it out to Section 8 for $1,550 a month. That's well over the 1% rule. And again, I can find deals like that all day, every day for my clients. And on top of that, another deal I recently closed was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family house. It was for 160K, and it's currently rented at $1,900 a month. So well over the 1% rule again. So again, we can find deals that positive cash flow all day, every day here in Columbus, Ohio. And then the next part as well too is the city is very landlord friendly. So here in Ohio, if you are, knock on wood, worst case scenario, were to go through eviction, it will typically take 45 days to file an eviction. And I will let you know if it gets really bad somehow, you're probably looking at 2-3 months if it's like really backed up or whatever. But again, evictions will not take 12 months. I've worked with a lot of Californians, a lot of other investors in other cities. They've told me all day, every day about these nightmare tenant stories where evictions have taken 12 plus months. That doesn't happen here in Ohio. In Ohio, it is very, very landlord friendly. And because of that, evictions will typically take 45 days. But again, worst case scenario, or, somehow it just becomes really bad, you're probably looking at two months is what I will let you know. And then after that, with that being said, my last piece of advice, especially when it comes to investing in a new real estate market, is working with an investor-friendly agent. So when it comes to working with an investor agent, you want to find an agent who is not just someone who's works with retail clients. That's not the type of agent you want to work with. You want to work with an agent who is an investor themselves, understands investor lingo, understands how to analyze a deal, tell you whether it's a good deal, bad deal. And on top of that, he or she should be able to explain why it's a good deal or why it's not a bad deal. And very last thing as well too is your agent that you work with, they should be telling you no a lot of times, because the reality is most deals on the market, or most deals that you see, aren't going to be good deals, and your agent should not be telling you every deal is a good deal. If your agent is like, hey, this is a good deal, and this is a good deal, and this is a good deal, then I can rest assure you that investor agent doesn't have your best interest at heart. They're just a salesman, and you don't want to work with that. So because of that, again, you want to work with an investor agent, someone who is telling you no a lot of times. And when it comes to working with an investor agent, I'm an investor agent, and what I will be doing to help you, if you do decide you want to work with me, is finding you personalized deal flow. So that's on-market deals, off-market deals, pocket listings, and on top of that, when we check out these deals, we make sure to do complete due diligence. I'll be walking these properties for you, the interior, the exterior, the location, and I'll kind of give you my full investor commentary when it comes to walking these properties as well too. Aside from that, I also help you build your real estate team. So lenders, property managers, contractors, anyone you need, I have, because again, that's what I've done when I was an investor myself. Again, I own over 10 plus rentals here in Columbus, Ohio. So done this process many, many times, and I've vetted who's good, who's bad as well too. And then third thing is helping you learn the neighborhoods here. What's a good location? What's a bad location for a rental property? I will be helping you and providing you tons of resources when it comes to stuff like that. And the very last thing is helping you estimate renovations and develop a scope of work, getting contractors in, getting itemized bids, doing proper due diligence to make sure that we know what we're getting ourselves into. again, your investor agent should be able to help you with all these mentioned items. But with that being said, that is pretty much the video today. Just want to give you guys a really quick rundown on why Columbus, Ohio is a great real estate market, especially for out-of-state investors. If you want to work with me, I would love to work with you guys. My name is Jimmy with Swiss Realty. I help investors buy their next buy and hold, BRRRR, flip, or short-term, midterm rental. Definitely feel free to drop a comment or let me know if you have any questions. I would love to work with you guys. Or again, if you have any questions, happy to help in any way possible. But aside from that, thank you so much for watching this video. Really appreciate you guys. Talk soon.